Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
Well, hi there. Good afternoon. Cindy Dole, and this is Home Wizards. Welcome to Hour 2 of your radio home for all things home, garden, and life improvement. This is the place where we love to talk about ways just to feel good. You know, whether you have an apartment, a condo, a palatial estate, you're trying to save up to get a home, you have a home, you think, oh, not so much. Whatever it is, there are little things and maybe even big things you can do, and we'd love to discover it and talk about it. And so I'm so glad that you're with me today because we'd love to have some fun. And you moms out there, happy Mom's Day a day early, because we're thinking about you while we're thinking about enjoying our spaces that we call home. So coming up in the next hour here, we're going to learn a little bit more about what they've been doing at the Pasadena Showcase House. This is the last week if you're just joining us. It goes until a week from tomorrow, May 15th. So mark your calendar. Go to PasadenaShowcase.org. You can buy tickets. If you hope to get some, you can email me, and you might be lucky at CindyDole.com. We're going to pick a few more winners for that. But it's either way, you got to go. And I was just talking with Seth a minute ago about some of my favorite corners in the house, and you're going to have to see the Monarch Butterfly Garden. We talked with David Snow a couple weeks back, and he's so funny because he taught me about this milkweed plant, and that's the plant that the monarch butterfly lays its eggs on, and that the monarch butterfly caterpillar will only eat, and then it knows because now it will be toxic to predators, and it's the most amazing thing. Well, apparently there's a lot of milkweed that grows all along the freeways in Southern California, and so David is known to pull over to the side to the freeway and to get some more of those caterpillars and then to, well, bring them to the butterfly garden. So either way, if you do have some of this milkweed, you're going to find some monarch coming to your garden, and we've got a couple of caterpillars. I haven't actually seen the metamorphosis yet, but I'm so excited because we have 2 of these milkweeds, and so just keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully you can join in the fun with me, and you can see the pictures at CindyDole.com while you're there today. So coming up next, very shortly, we're going to learn about how to turn that little area, maybe you have a breakfast nook or a little side space, area for seating. Maybe it's to kind of get on your laptop and have a cup of coffee and catch up on things, or just a small seating area, how to take advantage of that space, as the designer did in what is called the parlor at the Pasadena Showcase. So we're going to find out about the colors and the materials used and some fun, trendy things that he did and how you can really maximize what you have. And then later, if you've always dreamed of having that trickling sound of water in your garden, can I tell you how our life has changed since we've had a pond in the past couple of years? Well, this guy, he's all about any other water feature. I mean, from ponds to how about a stream, you know? And so you're going to find out, we were talking earlier about his partner in this landscape design, and Steve Sandalis specializes in the water portion of it, and we're going to find out how to bring water to your world, and it's going to be so relaxing and so fun, whether you have a koi pond or a stream or you name it. So we're going to get some ideas on that. And then later still, we've been talking a lot about going green. We were at the Go Green Expo a few weeks back. As you're cleaning your home, moms, you get a day break, a couple of days off, for goodness sakes, but dads and the rest of us who are cleaning the house, do you think about the chemicals that are in your cleaning solutions? Does it matter? Do you worry about it? Are you trying to not have chemicals? And how do you know if it really is chemical-free? We're going to talk with this very innovative guy about what he has cooking to hopefully provide you a solution. That's all coming up. So the number is 888-KFWB-980, 888-539-2980. You're welcome to come on in and say hi and ask a question and just join in the conversation. Don't be shy. And as we're listening, by the way, as you're listening, be sure to go back and listen again at CindyDole.com. So let's get going now to my next guest. And he's all about this area that is part of the Pasadena Showcase House. If you can picture this, it's right off the kitchen, and it's a space that's known as the parlor.
Pasadena girl.
So Jon Jahr and Associates, they're based in Newport Beach. They specialize in design and planning of interior spaces. And when he decided to participate in the Pasadena Showcase House, he had some great ideas for this area that is kind of a small, cozy, informal seating area. And he wanted it to be bright and cheerful, and we're going to find out, how do you do that? What did he put together in this space? So Jon Jahr, thanks for being here.
You're welcome. It's glad to be here.
Yeah. How are things going? You are physically at the Showcase House right now, aren't you?
I am sitting on a bench in front of the house. It's a beautiful day, watching the people enjoy themselves.
Good. I'm so glad because I know we're in the final stretch of the Showcase House tour, and a lot of people love, as all of us do, to go and get ideas. So
They sure do. One more week.
And now, is this your first Showcase House?
No, actually, I've been doing it off and on for about 15 years.
Oh, wow. So you've done this for a long time.
Yeah, not every year, though.
Is this the first time you've done this kind of a little smallish seating area?
Well, it is. Normally, the room is used as a breakfast room, but the committee did not want two dining rooms together, and there's no family room in the house because in the 20s, people lived in their living rooms. So I was asked to do it as a small sitting room, just a cozy, comfortable spot to have coffee in the morning or drinks before dinner.
Yeah, and we all can relate to that because maybe that's all we have is our dining area, too, you know?
Exactly.
Uh-huh. And so we're calling it the parlor. And as we walk into this space, as you did a few months back in January when you said, okay, here's my area, I'm going to really make it the best in the whole Showcase House, what did it look like before?
Well, it was a white painted room with the original cork tile and wood coffered ceiling that was covered in a dark wall covering. We took that off to see if there might be wood behind it. It turned out to be plaster. So I put another wall covering up in the coffered ceiling, and I immediately saw yellow, bright, sunny walls.
Ah, it was almost like, right?
It was an aha moment.
And why did you want bright, sunny walls? Because it was kind of feeling dank and depressing, it sounds like, huh?
There's really only one window, and even though it faces east, we get beautiful morning sun. Throughout most of the day, the room is kind of dark. Mm-hmm. And I thought that the yellow color would really perk it up and warm it up and make it cozy.
Sounds nice. How big is the space so we can visualize, or how small is it?
It's 13 by 15 feet, and it has major doors, 3 pairs of doors on each wall and a window on the fourth wall. And the ceilings are 9.5 feet high.
Oh, okay.
So it's a space that would be very familiar to us today. It's not overly large.
Right. And you mentioned, 1920s, because we can't forget this is a Paul Williams design from the 20s. And so when you were planning something that would be updated but yet still true to the history of it, how did you kind of balance all that?
Well, I used sort of a traditional style English saddle arm sofa and chair, and I covered them in white linen slipcovers.
Ooh.
And then I...
Wait a minute, I'm spilling coffee on white linen?
Well, they're slipcovers.
Okay.
You can take them off, take them to the washing machine, wash them up, and put them back on.
Love it. Okay. Because I tend to spill coffee, especially if I wear white. It always seems to happen to me.
It's one of those rules. That's why we did the slipcovers.
Okay.
And of course, another option is to change them with the seasons. The room, I used a red accent in the room, and you could have a red set of slipcovers made for winter months, and the room would even be cozier.
Oh, nice. Okay. Where did you get these slipcovers? Were they specially made for you, or did you make them yourself, or you ordered them somehow?
The manufacturer, Patricia Edwards, that made the sofa and the chair, they covered it in muslin, and then they actually made the slipcovers for their own furniture.
Okay. Yeah.
When I do it for a client, my upholsterer makes them for us.
Okay, good, because I think that slipcovers are a good trick for a lot of people who may not be able to afford an entire new sofa or whatever. That's a good solution.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
A little bit less expensive than reupholstering a sofa.
And the flooring, what was the flooring like, you said? Is it kind of dark?
The flooring is dark. It's original cork tile.
Yeah.
It's been stained in shades of yellows and yellow greens. And it's over the years, the best way to maintain cork floors is to wax them. So over the 80-odd years the house has been built, they've been built up layers and layers and layers of wax on the floor, so it actually looks like old stone.
Oh, that sounds kind of interesting.
It really is. And all we had to do before we moved the furniture in was buff the floors.
Huh. Okay.
The natural shine from all the wax came up.
Yeah, that sounds like a great solution. Well, don't go away, John, because we have a lot more ideas we want to get from you and pick your brain on what you did with that bright yellow room that I hear might also have a magical appearance of green at certain times. And
Cindy.
and some more ideas of what we can do to that little, seating room that I think a lot of us have, and maybe struggling with what to do with it. Talking with Jon Jahr on this pre-Mother's Day. Que sera, sera. Cindy Dole, Home Wizards. We're back after this.
Será, será. What will be, will be. When I grew up.
I love the words to that song because it's so true, right? Pasadena Showcase House, and Al Jolson singing about it all those years ago. Cindy Dole, this is Home Wizards, and this has been a tradition for me for all these years. We've been doing this show. It's an honor to a great cause. The Pasadena Showcase House is really a fundraiser that brings music to the lives of children who may not be able to have it otherwise. And so when you buy those tickets, that's the good cause part of it. But the other benefit is that we get to be dreamers and voyeurs and go through these amazing homes and learn from all these designers who have worked their magic and put all these incredible colors and materials and just trendy things together. And we go, wow, that I never thought of that. And then you go home and you try to recreate it in your own world. So I just think it's a fun learning experience. And so that's why we try to share all this with you every year. And Jon Jahr is one of those designers, Jon Jahr and Associates, who has been doing this for, 15 years at the Showcase House. So, Jon, thanks for hanging tight with us. And we were just talking about your parlor. So now your task was with these dark cork floors that still have a cool stone look to them over time, and how you've made it brighter because you've added what kind of felt dark and dreary in just one window in this very small little breakfast kind of a nook seating area. And you tried to paint it. Well, you painted it yellow, but what happens to the paint from time to time?
Well, we did paint it yellow. It's the sheepskin color from the palette, and we cut it by 50%. And in the morning, when the sun is streaming in the room, it's yellow. But as the sun climbs and the room goes into shadow, it actually turns to green, a very pale green. By the late afternoon, early evening, it's gone from a yellow room to a pale green room.
Now, did you plan that? Did you do that on purpose?
Well, I should say yes, I did. In all honesty,
you didn't?
In all honesty, I can't.
I love that, though.
It might be reflecting from all the greenery outside the house. There are a lot of big bushes. Mm-hmm. That might be a possible explanation. Or I haven't approached Dunn Edwards to see if there's anything in the paint that would mm-hmm. cause it to do that. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a fairly rare thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when you say cutting the paint, just so in case some do-it-yourselfers are wondering what you mean by that, do explain.
Oh, we take the full-strength color. In this case, it was the sheepskin, and we add white to tone down the color. Mm-hmm. You can tone it down by percentages, 10%, 20%, 50%, which is what we did.
Yeah, and I think that's a good trick a lot of times to do that for the ceiling, too, right? To have
have a lighter tone on the ceiling of the same paint color.
Right.
It usually gives the ceiling a sense of more height.
Mm-hmm. See how sneaky you are. But I love that it's almost taking on a chameleon effect and becoming green, but not like any old green, not like Emerald City green, but it sounds like a very soothing, almost sagey, pretty green, as the evening comes on.
It happens to blend with the greens in the floor.
Yeah.
And I do call it, when people ask about it in the room, I call it chameleon sheepskin.
Yes.
That's exactly how I describe it.
There you go. And of course, there's chameleon paint, like the chameleon car, right? So
exactly.
You're ahead of your time.
Exactly.
All right, so talk about what else is in the room. You talked about the sofa with the seat cover, slip covers, I should say, in the white linen. And what else?
Well, I used an antique English secretary
mm-hmm.
To give a sense of a place where you might write a note to a friend. It's also a very interesting piece of furniture architecturally, and it would be a later period than Tudor. It's from the early 18th century, but I think it's appropriate to use English furniture in an English house.
How about lighting? Because you mentioned there was just one window there, minus bashing out a wall. What did you do to also, besides the yellow paint, kind of give it a little more oomph and brighten it up?
Well, we found an interesting hanging light fixture that we put in the place of the chandelier that's normally in the room over the breakfast table. And it's a gray linen shade that has kind of a traditional look, but the underside is polished stainless steel, so it bounces light around the room quite a bit.
Look at you. You are full of tricks up there.
Well, then I also found some brass and pewter metallic decorative lamps that I used on either side of the door to the dining room, which again helped reflect light.
Okay, and if this is so close to the dining room, then how does this blend from one space to the next? Because that's a big question for a lot of us, who are painting one room and want it to match or at least kind of flow with the next room.
Amy Devault, the designer for the dining room, and I have worked in rooms next to each other in the past several times. I sometimes think they put us together. Amy's color palette tends to be a little softer, and mine tends to be a little more colorful. But and we don't see each other's presentations, but somehow we bounce colors and tones off of each other. I'm a little stronger, she's a little lighter. We actually picked the same wall covering. She put hers on the wall with a silver background, and I put it on the ceiling in a beige tone.
So we're going to call you guys the Osmonds, a little country and a little rock and roll or something there, right?
Something like that. Exactly.
All right, and we're going to find you there at the Showcase House. People can come by your space and you'll say hi. And do you have a website?
I do. It's JONJAHR.com. And I'm doing a blog on the house. It's the first time a designer's ever done it, and I'm describing sort of the process we go through to create the concept for the room, present it to the committee, and get it installed, and then I discuss all the features of my room.
Fun. Well, thank you for sharing some of the features with us right here, and we're going to post some of those pictures on my site as well. So thanks, Jon Jahr. Love it.